Hello, everybody out there in Twitch land. I'm Carlos A.S. Lysing, the Rook. I'm the Dungeon Master for the show that you're tuning in tonight, which is the first Betrayal, a World of Greyhawk campaign. This game is set in the World of Greyhawk, as I mentioned, in the country of Radek, and it is the game for all of my patrons, my high-level patron subscribers. Uh, with us tonight is Matthew Lazinski, who is playing Brixton Beholder's Bane, as you guys can see down there. Um, a little bit of work here at the beginning. As you guys can see, Brixton's the only one here tonight. He had separated himself from the party, and through the the proceeds of last game, and as a result, this is an excellent time for me to catch up one of the games I owe him as a solo game because he couldn't make it on one of the other sessions. So this is a makeup session, an excellent way for us to work that in. Matthew, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Carlos?
Good, buddy. Good. Hey, listen. Tonight's a big night for Brixton. We left him off in a really bad place, as we just talked about a few minutes ago. Um, as a little bit of a preamble to tonight's game, I don't know that our viewers know a ton about you or your game experience. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your experience with Dungeons and Dragons?
Well, it kind of started. It's something my family did way back when I was little. I'm going to think my parents and some of their friends. I wasn't allowed to be a part of it. They were playing. I think third edition or 3.5, and it's always something I wanted to do. And I kept like bugging my dad about it. I was like, "Hey, this seems really cool," and he ran me on some, for lack of a better term, I guess solo missions, and that was it. And then I joined a group. One of my best friends growing up, his brothers all played, so I joined a group of 3.5, and I played a cleric because they needed a healer,
Okay.
and that was
Do you remember what
that
god
was
you were a cleric of, or were you just a general cleric?
well, I was, and this is what started our adventure. I was a cleric of Saint Cuthbert. I was Eric the
Oh,
Barrack, the
wow.
dwarven cleric, and I was like, Palor would be a better god for healing. So I had a religion change, but that wasn't an easy feat. We had to go hunt down this cult of Vecna, and
Oh, man.
man, there's still stories told about it at every D&D table I'm at. So
Pretty
it was a
legendary,
thing.
huh? That's
Yeah, it was.
awesome.
It's not. He's like, well, you can't just change your god. It just doesn't work like that. And I was like, oh. He's like, you got to prove your favor. So I was a cleric without my cleric powers because I had to prove myself to Paylor, and
Right,
so I was
right.
basically just a lowly fighter.
That is a really cool story. Now, for those of you out there who don't have a ton of footing in the different iterations of Dungeons and Dragons, the first Betrayal is being played in first edition game, but back in the day in 3.5, the 3.0 and 3.5 core setting was the world of Greyhawk. So you had gods like Palor, you had gods like St. Cuthbert, you had gods like Vecna that are all stables in the world of Greyhawk. Um, so Matthew, this is probably not really a huge leap for you playing in the world of Greyhawk. Although I know it's a huge leap playing for you in 1.0.
Yeah, a little. I've had a little. My friend's dad always DM'd first edition, so I've played it a few times, but nothing ongoing and nothing um substantial.
Okay.
So just like a session here, a session there.
Very, very cool. And so far, you are enjoying the first edition experience as an ongoing game.
I like it. I like how there's no level balancing. I find in the other, like, fifth edition, fourth edition, Pathfinder, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of, if something goes wrong, it's not like it goes wrong. And I feel like there's a lot of, as the editions evolve, they put in a lot of different little rule sets that trumped creativity.
I see. Um, for those of you, again, who aren't so familiar with the later editions, in 3.540 and 5.0, uh, encounters are done dependent on level of character. Now, that's a recommendation in first edition, but for those of you who are OGs of the Dungeons and Dragons experience and have played a lot of first edition, you'll know that there's a chance that you can meet a dragon at first level, and if you just make a series of wrong turns, really in 3, 5, 4, and 5, that's really not in play so much. I mean, obviously DMs can do that. However, It's not baked into the process like it is in first edition, where running into things that are way tougher than you or way easier than your level is, that's all part and parcel of the experience. So Matthew's that's a pretty salient point there. Um, a lot of your experience in 1.0 is learning about when to run away and when to fight. And as Matthew's going to find out tonight and found out last week, when we last left Matthew's character, he was in a pretty bad scenario. Um, for those of you who did not tune in last week, they were taking the South Road in Radek. Now, Radek, the country of Radek, is borders the Solnor Ocean on the Flenesses on Eric's east coast. Um, the South Road runs along from the capital of Marner all the way down along the Solnor coast to its south border. It was originally made as a trade route so as to encourage and spark development in southern Radek. However, as events proceeded in the Bone March and in the Great Kingdom, and the whole area became overrun with humanoids, it became such a dangerous area that few people really dared travel that far. But anyway, Matthew and his crew were going down the South Road. Matthew's playing a gnome named Brixton Beholdersbane, and he was a thief illusionist. He's very curious. He's very action and adventure oriented, and they happen to find a trapdoor in the middle of the road. Well, it was too irresistible for Brixton to resist, and he and several of the NPCs, including one of his apprentices, Sonny, went down into this area, and they found out, much to their chagrin, that it was infested with orcish bandits, or at least orcs that they suspect to be bandits. They ended up in over their heads. There was a huge fight, and there was a massacre down in one of the rooms in which two of the NPCs that were very central to the campaign ended up dying. Brixton's young apprentice was probably scarred for life, having watched all this take place. And the one surviving NPC with Matthew is Merrick, Magmaborn, who is a dwarven fighter. His sister died in the tunnels, and he's a wreck right now as well. So when we take off from the when we begin the game, you're going to see tonight's probably going to be a very action-oriented game in which Brixton's going to be fighting for his life. Now, Brixton, before we went live, you told me that you had an idea. Is that something you want to share live right now, or something you want to have play out during the game?
I want to have it play out.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Let's. I want to. Before we actually begin with the game, there's one last piece of bookkeeping I want to keep here, and last game session was extremely emotional. It was extremely action oriented. A lot of death, destruction, and chaos. Brixton, how do you feel that was handled? How do you think what kind of game experience was that for you? Because for a lot of people, especially newer characters who played in later editions, where character death is not a common thing. The player characters usually outgun the monsters significantly in terms of power and scope of abilities. Um, this was probably a little bit of a change for you. And how do you feel like that went? And how do you feel like how did it impact you?
Well, usually when I play spontaneous casters and not prepared casters. So having to prepare my spells and stick with it was always I wasn't always a fan of.
Mhm.
But and I didn't expect combat this morning. I didn't expect to find the trapdoor,
Right.
yet alone go into it. And so, given what I prepared, I think I did swimmingly. I think I did really well.
Okay.
Um, the whole enlarge and buy some time kind of thing. I think
Hmm.
that kind of saved the
I thought
day.
that was an inspired move too.
And but as far as the character death and Brixton, like it hit me hard. Your DMing is so engaging is not the word I was looking for, but I think it gets the point across right now.
Okay.
I just feel very engaged in it, and Brixton kind of has this. Brixton and Jindra met, well, kind of same time he met Sunny and Lily,
Hmm.
and he Ginger kind of talked to him a lot and was all happy. Merrick was kind of like scruffy and grumpy and that kind of
Right.
stuff. And so he had this relationship with Jindra, that, and they were supposed to have a talk.
Yes, they were.
That's not going to happen.
Nope.
Cool. And then Solveig, when he went familiar fishing, quite literally,
Yeah.
saved his life.
Right.
And so there was that whole little interaction. So I felt Brixton probably had the closest bond with those two out of all the NPCs.
Right. Which is why they had no problem following him into the trap door.
Yeah, and then so he felt pretty bad. Well, I mean, I felt pretty bad too because I feel like I got everybody killed. And I mean, we still have more than half that went in there. So I mean, that's not really a win, but it's better than not.
Well,
And I'm
this
just
is
happy
something
science.
that one of our other players, Jeremy, who plays Rainmar, and I were talking about this offline, and we actually were talking about the first edition experience. There is something called the Gygaxian funnel. I don't know if you or our listeners have ever heard of it before, but there is a play style in which, if you're running a solo game, that you'll take three characters, you'll roll up three PCs, you'll make them all, and you'll run them simultaneously. And whoever lives becomes your primary PC. And the reason that that's done is because there's such a high mortality rate in first edition that you need it almost. You almost need that. So we were talking about that, and Raymar said, he thought about it at the end, and he came to a similar conclusion that you did, that scarily enough, this was a win when you went down there, that there's actually a couple of you alive right now. You can actually, weirdly enough, consider that to be a win. So it really depends on how you look at it. But it was a very powerful session. I thought the last time. I thought it was one of our best ones. The last piece of work I want to do here is I want to give everybody a little bit of insight on what's going on with Castle Entertainment before we begin. Everybody has heard, I'm sure, that I'm going to be going to GrogCon here at the top of October, where I'm going to be running Queen of Shala, the Porcelain Sword of Queen of Shala, in 3 sessions. If you're going to be in the Florida area, there's spaces available at my table, which is pretty rare. So if you guys want to join in on that, this is your perfect time to join in on a Castle Entertainment game and actually figure out what we're about. I'll be going to I'll be going to GameholeCon after that at the end of October, in which 3 of our 4 members will attend to that game, actually. And finally, I'll be doing GaryCon in March, which I always do. GrogCon is I was commissioned to do a module for that game. It's the first year for the convention, first year I've ever done it. So I don't know quite what to expect with that one. But every year that I go to both GameholeCon and GaryCon, that's when I do module releases. So you guys can expect to see prototypes of modules at those shows. It's a big event for Castle Entertainment, so hopefully you guys get a chance to enjoy that. And the last thing I wanted to say is want to do a little bit of discussion about the Patreon. The Patreon's doing really well right now, and most of you have had to get your modules through the Patreon at this point in time when you get them, or find me at a convention. Some of you have contacted me through email and through Facebook, which is cool. But as we speak right now, my wife is very, very close to launching CastleEntertainment.com. Amanda is the merchandise Valkyrie, and she's worked very hard on the website. We're just doing a couple last finishing touches on PDF fulfillment, and once that's all taken care of, anybody who's interested on ordering Castle Entertainment material there, whether it be shirts, whether it be stickers, whether it be our modules, you can do it that way. So it'll be really cool, and I hope you guys get a chance to enjoy that. With that being said, Brixton, are you ready to go?
I mean, we can't prolong it anymore, can we?
No, not really. I mean, it's sort of like a tooth extraction, buddy.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm pumped,
I am very
and
pumped
especially
too.
'cause I think I figured it out. I think
Okay.
I can pull this off.
Okay, awesome. All
But we'll
right, so
see.
when we last left our intrepid hero, if we want to call him that right now, you were in the middle of the hallway. You're at least 50 feet or 30 feet underground right now, as far as you know. Uh, You went down the trapdoor, descended the ladder, and at first you went down the east corridor, which led to a door. Looked to you like maybe a guard post of some kind that had been abandoned long ago. You found some cards in there, a few other items. There was a ladder that was heading downward, and you chose not to explore that any further. The scent of seawater was there, and I think that that gave you pause. But then you decided to go down the south corridor. When you went down the south corridor, you found that it ended in three doors, behind one of which you heard orcish voices. You guys bum rushed the room, had a pretty good combat round in there, but then you guys were unfortunately bottled up by the other orcs that were in some of the other rooms. You're not really sure where they came from, but they bottled you up in the room. A lot of flaming oil was thrown around to fill the whole area with smoke, and that's when all hell broke loose. So, when we last left you, you were coming back up the corridor, walking away from the plumes of smoke. It was you. It was a shell-shocked and silent, for probably the first time in her life, Sunny, who was refusing to leave your side. And Merrick, the dwarf Merrick Magmaborn, was there with his sister Ginny in his arms, who is dead. Uh, please tell me how you would like to proceed from this point. You have the corridor north and south ahead of you. The south way is full of smoke and silence.
Now, is Merrick taking Jindra with us, or
He is.
what's left of
He
Jindra?
looks like he is refusing to hold Jindra, and as you're looking over at that, you realize that Sunny is actually holding your hand, and she refuses to let you go.
Sonny's holding my hand. Sorry.
And she's shaking like a leaf.
Got it. Is is Jindra like? Does she have her weapon with her or anything?
Yeah, she has her axe with her.
Okay. Um, can we grab that and then I want to head north.
Yes, okay. Um, Merrick does not look like he's willing to let any part of Jindra go, so he's going to hold the axe and his own at the same time
Yeah.
while he's carrying the body, which he
It probably
has
weighs as much as I do.
in his arms. Well, she's wearing chainmail armor, so unfortunately she weighs significantly more than you.
I meant just her axe.
Oh, just her axe, yes. Just her axe does probably weigh at least as much as Sunny. Okay, so you're heading back north up the corridor.
Yeah.
No one is saying a word. Everyone is just quiet. The horrors of what's happened in the hallway behind you. Brixton, I guess the best way to put it, as you're walking up north, as you're walking away from the smoke, it's like you're trying to put the whole event behind you, uh, literally as well as symbolically. Um, Merrick hasn't said a word. What's your marching order right now?
Um, I feel like it's me, Sonny, then Merrick.
I think it's actually you and Sunny beside one another, and then Merrick.
And
Because,
then
as I
Merrick.
said, she's holding your hand and she
She's
won't let you go. Uh, you guys are heading up the way. You guys smell of smoke. Uh, the scent of burning hair and flesh is in the hallway still. It's a sickening smell, overpowering smell. But as you start to walk away from it, you get back to the front, the first room with the ladder. Uh, it's the scent starts to recede a little bit. The first person that says anything as you get to that room is actually Sunny. She looks at you in a really quiet voice. She says, "Are we going up now?"
um I assume I don't know for sure if they talked about it, but I'm gonna assume that the idea was to bury the hatch after we went
It
under,
was,
correct?
but that's lost on Sunny right
On
now.
Sunday. Yeah. Now, as well, can I keep do I know what kind of vision do orcs have
Orcs have infravision.
as
It
well?
extend yours is better. Yours is about twice as long as theirs. You know that is a fact.
Got it. Okay, and then so I want to keep an eye behind us as we're
Okay.
moving forward.
Every once in a while, you look behind you. You don't hear anything. You don't see anything.
And then I tell Sunny the way is shut.
She kind of looks at you. You almost expected a horrified look on her face, but she doesn't respond at all. She just kind of keeps looking forward in a daze.
And then so I say we have to go east.
She nods.
So we're gonna go east to kind of the guard room and the ladder down.
Okay. Start heading east, and you're hearing Merrick kind of muttering to himself. You look over your shoulder. He's talking to Ginny. Um, he's kind of mumbling. You don't really make out what he's saying. Uh, something about orcs, something about the last. You're hard to tell what he's saying. Um, but it's best you decide to give him a little bit of space.
Yeah.
So you're heading south, and you finally make it back to the ladder. It's an old rickety wooden ladder that it looks like it's meant to hold humans, but it's also very old. It's very dry. It's hard to tell how much weight it really will support until you're on it.
Got it. Now, um, I'm gonna ask Merrick to take another look in the guard room to see if there's any secret doors or any other way out,
He
and to just
nods.
kind of
He pushes
keep
the
an.
door open with his shoulder and starts exploring in there. You're staying in the hallway?
I'm gonna try the ladder.
Okay. All right. You
How
get
big is the hole with the ladder in it?
about 5 feet wide.
Okay.
So about the size of a it's rather easy for you to make it down through there.
Yeah. And how far down is it?
Well, as you look down, it's hard to tell because infravision is really heat signature and everything is cold down there. So you walk, you're gonna have to find it out for yourself. But as soon as you get on the ladder, just the way it moves around, you can tell it's not that far, maybe 15 feet, 20 feet.
Got it.
So you start walking down the ladder, and Sonny just kind of watches you. Um, clamber down about 20 feet. Being a gnome and being used to underground scenarios, you're very well in touch with how far you actually descend, and you're almost sure it's about 20 feet. And touch down on the ground. The area is really weird. It looks like it's been dug out by some tools like shovels or axes, but yet it's perfectly square.
Got it.
Um, and as a gnome and being used to underground, it strikes you as really odd. Usually, builders, unless they're dwarven engineers, they would have a hard time making it this clean cut. So you continue to go down down. You're at the bottom. Sunny clambers down quickly behind you, just so she can be next to you again. Wait for about maybe a minute or two. You hear Merrick start going down the comes down the ladder too. He looks at you. He goes, "There's no way out there."
Gotcha. Is Ginger with him still,
Yeah, he's
or
still got Jinder's body.
okay, he made it down fine?
Yeah, he made it
Is
down
can
fine.
we move the ladder?
You can move the ladder.
Yeah, let's take the ladder down for now,
Okay,
just in
start pulling
case
down the
something.
ladder. Merrick gives you a hand with that. He goes, he says it's probably a good idea. He goes, it won't deter them for long. He goes, they'll probably drop a rope down if they're coming after us, but at least it'll slow them down. We'll know they're coming. They'll make too much noise on their way down not to know.
Yeah. Now, do I get a good layout of the room, or would it be better to light a torch?
You get a good idea of what's going on ahead of you. The area that you're in as you went down the ladder is another corridor going east. It just descended. Now, what you're
Yes.
suspecting, based on the layout of your mind is kind of mapping it out. It looks like they had to go down to get under the water level. You're probably actually under the water right now.
Got it.
So, okay, so you're going to continue out?
Continue east. Yeah.
Okay. So you continue down the corridor. Uh, Get about. Are you going to be doing anything the whole way?
Just kind of light checks. I'll have my bow out,
Your bow, okay, short bow. Hmm.
my short bow. And I think that's kind of it for now.
Okay.
Um,
Sunny looks up at you and she says, "I'm out of darts."
I say that's okay. You've thrown enough darts for
She
today.
nods. Not enough to save
Oh,
our friends.
I don't know if any amount of darts would have done that.
She sighs a little bit and holds your hand. You're walking down the corridor. About maybe about you're this this corridor goes a substantial ways, you're realizing. Okay. It is you get about 100 yards down the way, and it is slanting downwards. Probably maybe at about a 10 to 15 degree angle. Sharp enough that even probably a human could tell that you're going downwards. Once again, you're sure that it's been constructed to account for the slope of the water as it's going down. Um,
So I feel like the water's just above us, right?
Absolutely, it is absolutely above you now. Much, how much earth there is between you and the water is difficult to tell. However, you're looking at it, the whole area seems to be quite dry.
Yeah. So
Yeah, the scent of seawater is still there. It's very strong,
yeah.
but
So it might have
it's
been, if we were going to dig, it might have been better to dig at the top level east.
yes,
Then
yes.
yeah.
So you continue down
Um,
the way about 100 yards, and there's a door on your left hand side.
is the does the hallway continue, or is
It
it
does
just the door?
continue on.
Okay, can I listen at the door?
Yeah, you listen at the door. Inside the door, you hear this weird scraping noise. It sounds like metal on stone. And it's occasional. It's like it'll scrape for a second, stop, scrape for a second, and stop.
Does the door give any insight to what it is?
Looking at the door, kind of feeling the texture of it, it's feels like it was made out of driftwood, maybe, or something, because it's very dry. It's bleached in color. Um, it's very old, but it's not swollen like the other door above it. It looks like it could be opened and closed very easily.
Is it locked?
Looking at it, you don't believe it's locked.
Is it trapped?
Make me a percentage dice roll.
Oof, 99.
Okay. It does not look like it's trapped to the best of your knowledge.
Got it. Now,
Merrick looks at you. He goes, "You want to go in?"
last time we opened the door, it didn't go so well.
He looks at you right in the eye and says, "Do we have much to lose anymore?"
I don't do that. I don't do that. Is the scraping uh is this scraping metronomic, right? Is
No,
does it
it's
like
not. It is not. It's irregular.
okay? And then the hallway continues that way, right?
Yeah, it does continue on.
Well, we can open it or we can move forward.
He looks at you. He says, "I'm in no shape to make decisions."
That's fair. That's fair. Let's. There's no we don't have any light out here, right?
No, but make me a six-sider roll.
4.
It was not apparent to you before because Ginny was in such bad shape, but Merrick is not necessarily in such good shape himself. He's got a really bad wound on his ribs that's bleeding through his chainmail. So
That's
he's not in. At first, you thought he might have meant emotional state, but the more you're thinking about it, he might have meant physical state too.
um. Now you need like bandages to bandage that up, right?
Yeah, you would need bandages. You'd need, and you'd also need probably the healing proficiency, which you don't have.
I sure don't. I asked how he's doing. I noticed
I'm
bleeding.
having trouble. I'm having some trouble catching my breath. I think I broke something in there. I take that back. I think somebody broke something in there.
Okay.
Took a
Can I?
club or a mace or something in there. I'm not sure what.
Yeah, it was hard to see. Can I open the door? Just like,
You're gonna try and open it real quiet and just peek in.
yeah.
Give
See
me
if I can.
a 2% die rolls, please.
78
Okay.
and 41.
Okay. You open the door just a little bit and you peek your head in just a little bit so you can see what's in there. The area seems like it's about a 20-foot room. Um, there is a desk in there. There is a bookshelf that's also in there. There's a small rug that's been looks like it's been worn and cut. And what it's been cut by is there is something human shaped in there. It is wearing the garb of a sailor. It is as cold as the stone around it. Its flesh looks bloated and and kind of whitish, and it's got a cutlass attached to its hip, and that's what's dragging across the ground. And you notice that every time it leaves the carpet, that's when it's scraping the ground.
Got it.
It's just kind of meandering around in there. Looks aimless.
I'm gonna close the door.
Close the door back up. You're pretty sure it didn't see you.
Cool. And
Sunny
I
looks
say,
up at you. She goes, "Orcs?"
um, do I know what it was? Can I make an intelligence check?
Yeah, give me a 20-sider.
I got a 7. No, I got a 1.
Okay. You've heard of this before. When sailors drown, sometimes their spirits are restless even in death, and their bodies perpetuate on as zombies, or maybe worse. It's definitely undead of some kind.
Yeah. Um, I just say there's nothing in there.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Merrick
Keep
kind
going.
of looks at you right in the eye when you say that, and he just nods. Keep going.
Yeah.
Faster or slower than normal,
Uh,
or same pace.
I'd like to move faster,
Okay.
but I don't want to create attention.
Okay. You continue to go. Um, this passageway continues on and on and on. It's unbelievable how far it actually goes. Um, you've walked probably a mile down the corridor. You feel
Going east, right?
going east,
So we're for sure under the water.
and it keeps continuing downward
Downward.
at that 15-degree slope until you hit that about a mile mark and it flattens out.
Okay.
Okay, you gonna continue down?
Is there anything else besides it flattening out?
Nope, not really. There's no. Um, Curiously, the scent of the ocean is closer. Um, you you don't see sconces for torches on the wall or anything like that. It's just that plain, absolutely perfectly cut square. And it's occurring to you as you go down there, that it had to be magically cut.
Yeah.
And it had to be magically cut over a period of a very, very long time because unless somebody was an unbelievably high level spellcaster, um, this had to be a series of hundreds of spells to make this.
Cool. This is great. This is
Are you going to
great.
continue down?
Well,
Merrick kind of looks at you and goes, "You're walking a long way.
yeah, we are.
I feel like we got to be under the water."
We are under the water. I'm trying to find the water.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the water doesn't find us. He keeps looking
I
up
think
at the
I
ceiling.
think that would be okay too. I wouldn't be mad if the water found us.
Huh. Depends on how it did it. He keeps looking up, kind of pokes at the ceiling with his axe a little bit. Goes, "This is awful solid." He goes, "This is not dwarven make."
No, it's magic.
Yeah, I figured. He looks at you. He says, "So, can your magic do something like this?"
I do a lot of parlor tricks.
Hmm. I'll take that as a no.
Nope. I can make it look like this, but not be like this.
Sonny says, um, "Maybe we can make ourselves look like something else. So if the orcs find us again, maybe we could be like orcs and they wouldn't hurt us. They'd
Yeah.
smell us, kid. Nice try though."
What yeah, it's
Oh,
either back to potentially more orcs or it's forward to potentially evil spellcasters.
he thinks about it for a second. He goes, "Look." He goes, "If anything survived in that corridor, and I got a suspicion it might have, there was still stuff swinging at me, even as I got out of there. Okay, then that means to me that they probably followed us and they're probably pissed off. Now, there's only a couple places they could go." He looks back at the corridor. He goes, "There's not a lot of options. I mean, they know where we are. Because we go back and there is anything that survived, they're down here looking for us and they're ready to. They've set up an ambush probably. God only knows what kind of traps we've got waiting for us. I don't think we have a choice."
Nope. Push on.
Guys, continue on. You hit the second mile of distance of this corridor, and there is another door on the wall. Same side, always on the left hand side, which is the north.
Uh, can I listen to this one?
Yeah, you can. And when you listen to it, you don't hear anything at all behind it.
Can I check? Is it locked?
Yeah, you look at it. Um, this one is not locked. And a quick look at it, make me a percentage die roll.
45.
No traps, as far as you can tell.
Um,
Same driftwood composition. Looks like it can open and close really easily.
can I do the same thing? Open it, peek my head in, see if I see anything.
Yeah, you poke your head in. This one over here is a little bit different than the other ones. There's a carpet there. It looks like it's been scorched and burned in places, right? Right in front of the door, facing you, someone has taken the bookcase that was in this room, put it on its side, so it's like a wall in front of there. There's arrows sticking in it, like 6 or 7 different arrows stuck in it. There's hacks and slashes over it. Part of the thing is burned. Behind it, you see 3 or 4 skeletons on the ground, old, dried, uh, bones bleached white skeletons there. And you see the desk that was there. There's a huge burn mark on it, but everything in there is silent.
Um, can I make an intelligence check on what the likelihood of the skeletons being skeletons are?
No, because there's really no way of knowing. Not
Yeah.
until
Okay.
they either animate or don't.
Yeah. Now,
You count 4 of them in there in total.
is there anything notable in the room?
Well,
Anything?
besides the bookshelf and the desk, it looks like all of the skeletons. They might, if they had weapons, they're gone. They've been looted. The arrows actually look to you like they're very old too. Whatever happened here happened a long time ago.
Um, any no books or no?
That would be on the desk, and looking from where your vantage is, it's hard to see.
Can I move in?
Yeah, sure you can. Are you going to tell
I
Merrick and Sonny to follow you?
no. I say wait here and
Sonny looks like she's going to have a panic attack the second you say,
okay. Okay.
wait
Come come
here.
come 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 with me.
Okay. Well, as soon as you let her in, she looks like she's going to have a panic attack when she sees the skeleton. She kind of just freezes up, looks at him. She looks over at you, but you're there, so she's not freaking quite out. Merrick looks at you, looks at the thing, says, looks like there was a fight here, too.
Can we tell what time of day it is?
Absolutely not.
Got it.
If you had a guess, you'd say it was getting around maybe about 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Cool.
But that's just a
Um,
wild guess at this point.
yeah. Now, moving in, what happens?
You move in. Merrick kind of kicks a little bit of the bookcase with his boot. Um, looks over. You hear something. As soon as he kicks it, you hear something hit the ground. Kind of circle the bookcase, and there was a book in there that fell out. The bookcase had several books in there, it looks like, but only a couple of them have survived the fire. That being one of them. There's like 3 or 4 books in there that have survived the fire. On the desk, there is a book that's on there. There's the remains of an ink pot that's been shattered and splattered all over the desk, and there is no quill. Total of 4 skeletons. As you get closer to them, they do not animate.
That's good news.
For once.
Um, right. That's a win.
Merrick says, he goes, I'm hacking them to pieces anyway. He goes over
Yeah.
there and lops off all the heads off of the skeletons.
Now, what's do the books have titles?
Yeah, they're just totally normal books.
Oh, there's nothing.
Hmm.
There's nothing special about them.
Well, you haven't looked at them yet. I
Oh
mean, you
well.
could read them and they could have explosive runes on the inside of them for all you know.
That's a thing.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing.
That's cool.
I
Okay. All right. Um, I'm gonna look at the books instead. I'm not gonna. Do any of the titles stand out, or is
Yeah,
there
the
any?
first one you pick up looks like it's a piece of fiction of possibly racy or dubious. It says it's called The Ocean Maidens. It goes The Pursuit of the Ocean Maid is one of them,
Okay.
and
And
it's
the
got
other
a
one?
picture of a mermaid on the front cover of it.
Got it.
The other books that are in there is one that is called Knots for Beginners. Another one is called. You got to pick it up.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you pick
We're
up
gonna.
Knots for Beginners. You also see one called. It says what to do if you are what to do if you are trapped on a deserted island is one of them.
Okay.
And finally, the other book is too corroded to tell its contents without opening it and looking at it.
There's no way to check for a book for traps, is there?
Not really, no.
No. Okay. I'm just gonna.
You could use magic on it, but that's about it.
Can I hand it to Sunny?
Yeah, you hand it to Sunny. She looks up at you.
I'll open it.
You open it up. It is an art book. It's got drawings of different fantastic creatures in there. All of them are sea related.
I'm gonna take them all.
Okay, you take every single one of them. Put them in
Yeah.
your pack. And the
Pick
last
off.
thing that's on there is on the desk, which is another book.
What's that?
You open it up and you look at it, and it looks like it's someone's journals. You gonna read it?
Um, Briefly, yeah.
Well, as I mentioned, it was damaged and a lot of it was stained by the ink that splattered all over there. But as you read the last pages, it seems to have been written by a sailor. And it talks about how he and the crew had just made a great score along the coast of the Bandit Kingdoms. It is dated 372 CY, which is about about 2 centuries ago,
When was
little more than 2 centuries ago.
Caverick's Cove founded?
Cavers Cove was founded right about then.
Do I think this is a relation to the
You're
pirate that?
almost sure it's a relation to it because, as you learned there, Caverick's Cove was created by pirates.
Yeah.
It talks about how the crew made a really good they made a really good score, but that the sailor that is writing the journal says that he fears their newest passenger. He goes, she's a witch, and the captain seems besotted by her. She was able to carve these corridors for us so that we would be able to have a hideout away from Captain Caverick. But if it's all the same, I'm going to stay on the island. I prefer that. It talks less. Rest of it talks about how he's been assigned to guard duty. As bad as he wants to stay on the island, he's has to stay on guard duty with a bunch of guys he doesn't really like very well.
Got it.
He
Cool.
says that, and he also says that he mentions that bandit activity is getting bad in the area. He goes, they've had to fight off several other bandit gangs. He goes, there's a lot increasing amount of humanoids in the area.
Got it. Okay, well, I tell Merrick that if we keep going east, we might hit an island
What makes you think that?
because I think this corridor connects the mainland to an island because of this journal.
Huh.
It's a hypothesis, but if
So
we get above ground, then
what would be the purpose of connecting an island to the mainland underground? Is this like,
pirates.
do you think it was a hideout then?
It was. Yeah, it was a way to hide from Captain Caverick,
Why
built
did they
by
want
one
to
of their
hide from
witches.
Catholic? I guess it doesn't matter, but my question would be, do you think there's people still on it?
On the island.
Yeah.
Well, people can be reasoned with sometimes.
Huh.
I mean, people are better than orcs.
Yeah, but if they're bandits, who knows how they're going to respond to us?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Um.
we don't have much.
So, you continue on the. You're going to leave the room, I imagine, and continue down the path.
I asked Merrick if we should camp out or if we should just press on. If
I'm
he's
good
good
for a
to
couple
press
more
on,
hours, he says.
okay. Let's continue forward before somebody catches up to us.
That's my concern too. Because every minute we waste in this room, they could be catching up to us.
Yeah.
And I doubt that they're walking as slowly as we are. They're probably running if they're coming after us.
Yeah.
So you guys continue down the way. As I said, it flattened out, and about maybe another 100 yards, the pathway begins to rise again.
Called it.
You continue down the way, and it is again literally another mile that you walk. And at the end of the hallway, there is a door. It's made out of iron.
Uh-oh.
It's completely covered in salt. Ancient old salt. A big, thick layer of it.
Can we open it?
He looks at you, Merrick looks at
Whoa,
you.
whoa, wait, whoa. Is it locked? And I check it for traps.
Make me a percentage die roll.
Let's not be too hasty. 76.
Locked and trapped.
Locked and trapped. Can I tell what kind of trap it is?
Make me another die roll.
Percentage?
Yeah.
63.
Looking at it, there's a mechanism inside of it that if it's tripped, it looks like it has a pulley inside of the wall. You look up above you, and there's a loose, the entire top above you looks like it's loose right there. It will drop probably about a 1-ton piece of the ceiling down on top of you.
That's cool. So if we get out, we can close whatever's following us in.
Possibly.
Maybe. All right. I
What do you
asked Sunny
see?
how she feels
Merrick
about.
looks over at you. What do you see?
I point up.
He looks up. Oh, nice. That's a lot of weight up there.
That is.
He goes, if we're not that far underneath the water, who knows how if that thing's going to let in water too. Could be worse than you think.
Could be.
Maybe
We
that's why.
try.
Maybe that's why. You know what? It makes perfect sense. That's why this door is metal. It'll seal easier. Water comes in, floods the corridor.
Flooding everything in there.
Yep.
I wonder if there's cool stuff in that zombie room.
Zombies.
It's okay.
Sonny's eyes get about this big when you say zombies.
Just bedtime story. um
Okay, so you continue down the. You're right there in front of the door. You're going to try and pick the lock. Now you
Now,
realize right away, failure here to pick this lock will probably kill all three of you.
yeah. So is picking the lock and disarming the trap all together, or should I
No, it's two
just
different deals entirely. You'll be
hit?
disarming the trap first, and then you'll be picking the lock second.
Got it. And if either, well,
If the first fails, you're dead, probably. If the second fails, that's maybe not the end of the world.
yeah. Okay. Well, I mean,
Percent
this
percentage
this
dice
session
time?
might end short, huh?
Percentage dice time?
Yeah, this session might end short, but let's find out.
Okay.
Oof, 30.
Okay. No, that's good. That's what you wanted. You reach in there, you get your picks in there, you have a file locked in there to hold the trap in place while you cut, and you loop it around to keep tension on there, pull it out of the keyhole, slide a pin through there so opening the lock won't disturb the we'll still keep tension on the trap, and there you go. You're in good shape.
Piece of cake.
That was really good. I made sure to pay attention, Sonny says.
I got a book for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. She smiles a little bit awkwardly. Merrick says,
Um.
"Well, at least we didn't die."
Yeah. Yeah. And I
So,
guess
am I going in first?
is the lock picked then, or was that both?
No,
Or
that was just the trap. Go ahead
okay,
and make me
lock.
another percentage dice to unlock the open the lock.
Oh, 87.
Try and open the lock, and that lock isn't going anywhere.
Now, can I try again, or is it
No,
just?
no, that's beyond your ability to open up again. Merrick looks at you. He goes, "No luck, huh?"
Can I now would putting white pitch in there and blowing out the lock affect the trap?
Yes, it would definitely trip the trap.
Okay, let's not do that then. No luck. Do you
So,
think
do
you
you
can
want
open
me
it?
to try and enforce it?
Would that force the trap as well?
Not necessarily.
A percentage die thing?
No, this would be what's on in your character sheet. If you look under your strength score, he would be using an open doors roll.
Oh yeah, Ben bar's open. Yeah,
Yep,
okay, open
lift gates,
doors.
open doors. So he would be
Well,
using an
I'm
open.
definitely not gonna do. Well, I
No,
mean,
it would be up to Merrick pretty much because you and Sonny have no chance.
I gotta roll a one.
Yeah, Merrick looks at you. Want me to give it a try?
Yeah, please.
All right. Sits his sister down on the wall. Oh, he's very careful with her. She looks just like she's sleeping up against the wall. Unfortunately, half of her face is gone and a lot of her hair is gone, so it's hard to not ignore that part.
It's trendy, right? You shave half your head.
But Merrick gets on the door, puts his shoulder on it, gets on the lock, pushes up against it. You hear a little bit of a strain of metal, and then this loud click noise from the door. Door opens up maybe 3 inches. He nods. Got it.
Thanks.
Am I going in first?
Can I peek my head in?
Yeah, you can peek your head in.
Yeah, I look.
The scent of sea air before you even peek your head in is very, very strong here. You peek your head out, and what you see is a very large cave. It's probably about maybe 75 feet wide, 50 feet tall. Rocky outcroppings everywhere around it. Okay? Looks like kind of like a cove of some kind, a hidden cove that's been covered over with a cave. There are 20 that you count figures walking around in there. All of them with this bloated skin, white skin. All of them with cutlasses or crossbows just meandering around in there
Aimlessly.
aimlessly.
Okay.
Merrick catches his breath. He's like, well,
About 20 zombies.
he puts his head on the wall. I'll take 5 of them if you can take the rest.
Maybe.
Peeking your
Can I
head
see?
back in there and looking around, about maybe 60 feet ahead, it looks like where you're at forms kind of almost like a half circle, like a walkway around a lowered area. The lowered area has sand in it. Water comes into there, and there's a boat there.
I relay said information. It's like, there's a boat,
He
but
looks
it's
at
about
you.
60
He
feet away.
says, do you think we can run to it fast enough and get it in the water before they can catch us?
I think I have an idea. Maybe. Now, zombies, do they can we do like The Walking Dead? If we all pretend to be a zombie, they might not.
Probably not.
Got it. All right. Just figured I'd check. Sorry, I'm just looking. Uh,
Then again, though, your knowledge of zombie lore is not absolute. Maybe it would
that's what I
work.
was gonna do. Yeah. Can I scan the Deserted Island book and the Mermaid book for maybe any clues? Maybe the Mermaid book was kind of like a code or.
Yeah, as you start to peruse the mermaid book, you realize that actually the first 10 pages of the mermaid book are a story, but the book feels weird. And as you get past page 10, there's been a big hole cut out all the pages, and there are 3 gemstones in there.
That's a win. All right. I mean, just gemstones though. Hey, not
Merrick looks at it. He goes, "Not bad."
not zombie.
No, not Zombie Control 101. You start looking through the what to do on a deserted island. It is literally what it sounds like. It's been written by a sailor who apparently was trapped on a deserted island in the Azure Sea, and he was abandoned there, and he survived for 3 years, um, just on his own wits and learning about the environment. And he's writing this book to help sailors that are in the same straits as he was to survive as well. That's really as far as you get with it before you realize you're taking up too much time reading it.
Yeah.
That seems to be the gist of it, though.
Now, what's the likelihood I could sneak my way to the boat?
You could probably sneak your way to the boat, you think, if you were able to roll well. The other
That's fine.
two, however, would have a much harder time. Also, you got to remember this. The biggest problem is that Merrick is wearing chainmail armor and he's a dwarf. He's slow as molasses.
Especially carrying
Add
Ginny.
that, yeah, the fact that he's carrying Ginny with him, he's going to be slow as molasses. Now, Sonny,
Now,
on the other hand, is pretty quick. Only problem is she's got short legs. These zombies, they don't move with great speed, but they are human zombies, so their strides are long.
and when they're angry, they probably move a little faster.
Yes.
Um, so I just want to. How far of range do I have on my spells?
Depends which spell are you talking about.
2 delusion.
2 Delusion is about 100 feet. However, remember that 2 Delusion works on the mind. Okay? These guys are undead. They're mindless. The chance that they'll even see an illusion is poor.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Oh. Now, do you think Sunny and I could sneak to the boat?
Well, you haven't really taught Sunny too much about hiding in shadows, but you could give her the crash course. And she's very small.
I mean, we could just leave Merrick behind.
Is that the plan?
No. I can't.
Are you going to give Sunny a crash course in hiding in shadows?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, all right. Well, Sunny seems like she absorbs it pretty well. And she says when you're done, okay, I think I got it, but what happens if hiding isn't going to help us be quiet, is it?
No. Can I give her the crash course on moving silently?
Yeah. Which you already have, if you remember correctly.
Yeah, when we were in the corridors.
You gave her the crash course, and she actually did pretty well. She goes, okay, I think I got it.
If these guys make it out of here, Sunny and Lily are going to be like some.
Yeah, they're going to actually be pretty useful. Well, especially Sunny.
Yeah.
Especially Sunny. Although, depending on what Agrias teaches Lily with his sword, if he doesn't keep putting her to sleep.
they'll be like sisters to reckon with.
Right, if they live. Which is greatly in doubt at this point. So, Merrick says, all right, it's fine and good that you guys are going to be able to, maybe you guys are going to be able to sneak past these guys, but what about me?
Well,
Am I fighting my way through 20 zombies?
No. My plan is to get the boat ready for launch so that and then leave Sunny at the boat so that at least if she needs to, she can get out of there. And then I'll distract the zombies and then we make a run for it.
It's as good a plan as any. Make me a 6-sided die roll, please.
Dos.
You think you hear something in the corridor behind you.
I ask Merrick. Doors have infravision as well, right?
Yeah.
Merrick, can you look behind us?
Yeah, sure. What am I looking for? I don't see anything.
I heard something. Can I look behind us?
Yeah, you look. You don't see anything either. Sunny is like, I think I heard it too.
What did it sound like?
Voices?
What kind of voices?
I couldn't tell.
Is
It's kind
there
of
a
far
way
away.
to,
Merrick goes, does it really matter what kind of voices? We need to get going.
yeah. I tell Merrick that if anything comes too close, pull the trap.
He nods.
And then that way it'll flood the caverns. We'll be done with them.
He takes a deep breath, nods. All right.
But it might bring attention to the zombies.
Damned if we do,
But
damned if we don't.
yeah, better to be fighting on one end than two.
Good
And
luck.
then,
He looks at you. Good luck, you two.
yeah, we'll need it. We go for it. I go for it. We go for it.
Okay. Make me two percentage die rolls.
52.
And
And I keep dropping my dice. 76.
okay. You feel pretty good about how hidden you are. You and Sonny walk in when you think that none of the zombies are looking. You pin yourself over to this side of the walkway. Start slinking really quietly. And then you kick a large stone.
Yeah.
Tick, 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 tick. But none of the zombies seem to notice. You continue curling around the side, hidden in shadows, being very quiet, slinking around. Make me another move silently roll.
19.
Okay. The rest of the trip goes real well, and when you hit the sand, it's easy. The sand is really easy to navigate.
Now, did I see anything shiny on my way through?
Yes, you did.
Uh-oh.
Up on the walkway at the end of it, where right before where you turn down, there is a large treasure chest.
Is there zombies around it?
One that walks by it one every once in a while. It's by a relatively large cluster of them, but there's not one standing right next to it. Sunny goes ahead and she gets in the boat. She looks at you. You look at the boat. The boat is leaky. It's got oars, but it is very old.
And then is the boat ready to be launched?
Yeah, you think it is. This is basically a really big rowboat. It's probably about maybe if it could hold about 5 human passengers, you figure. So for you three, it should be relatively easy. But
Okay.
how seaworthy it really is hard to tell.
I'm not overly concerned about that part. I have something for that.
Okay.
But so I'm just more concerned about getting the treasure chest
Sunny
now.
stands in the boat. She looks at you. She goes, "Be careful."
Stay low. I tell her
She
to
nods and
hide low.
she actually hides. She's small enough. She can hide underneath one of the flat seats on there.
Yeah, and I say if anything goes wrong, leave.
I'm not leaving you here. Not like we left Solveig. I can't. I can't.
All right. I'm gonna put my hat on her head.
Okay. Thank you. She smiles and kind of puts it on.
Now if the if Merrick beelines it, is the chest
It's in his
enough?
path if he beelines it.
So it's like right in the middle.
Yes.
I'm gonna. Can I sneak to the chest?
Make me a percentage die roll.
8.
You feel really good this time. You kind of got the layout of this place. You kind of have cased it enough that you figure out now where the shadows are best and where the sight lines are best. You actually end up right behind the treasure chest. You're actually using it as cover. The treasure chest is ancient leather over wood with big brass bindings around it. And it was easily big enough for you to put both Lily and Sunny in it if you wanted to.
I assume I can't lift it.
You kind of put your fingers underneath it a little bit. Oh yeah, it's heavy.
Is it trapped?
Impossible to tell right now. If you actually started to check it for traps, you would expose yourself to sight lines because the lock is on the front part of it,
Oh, okay, and I
and
assume
you're
it's
like
locked.
behind it.
Um. All right. Now, do I move faster than Merrick?
Yes, you do move faster than Merrick.
Can I? Can I? Does that white pitch explode?
It does well. You saw what it did with Solveig.
Can I put a little bit on a hand crossbow bolt?
You can.
I'm gonna light it and I'm gonna shoot it to the furthest corner of the cave. You know what I mean? Away
It's
from
not going to
Merrick.
explode on contact. You have to light it on fire actually for it to do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. I'm gonna light it then shoot it.
Oh well, if you light it, it's going to explode on the end of your. It's instantaneously
Oh,
explosive.
can I make a fuse with some of my rope?
You're going to try and kit bash a fuse together. Make me a intelligence check.
D20,
Yeah,
12.
you'll be able to do it, but to do it, you're going to need to use some of the sandpaper from your thieves' tools, and so you'll be at a penalty using your thieves' tools from this point onward. Will you do that?
Yeah,
Okay, you're able to make a fuse.
those I can replace.
Yeah.
I don't think I can replace Merrick. But so is there a good spot that'll draw the attention away to give Merrick a chance
Yeah, you
to?
think you kind of put it up near the ceiling, pin it up there. Shoot
Okay.
it,
And rate
and make me a 20-sider, please.
14.
Okay, you hit it into the ceiling. It manages to stick there. Um, None of the zombies noticed.
I lit the fuse, right?
Yep, you lit the fuse.
And so the fuse is burning.
It's burning right now. You
Okay.
figure you've got about maybe 5 seconds before it goes off.
Okay. I point. Can Merrick see me?
Yeah, he's looking at you. He looks at you, his eyes are really big, and he points down the hallway.
Okay. I point to the ceiling and to the boat. And can I kind of communicate that don't set the trap because let the zombies and the orcs fight it out? Can I do like a
You try and communicate that, but it doesn't look like he understands.
gotta?
5, 4,
I,
3,
I
2, 1. Boom! The white pitch goes off in the ceiling. Fire everywhere. The zombies start groaning and growling everywhere. But the problem is that the ceiling in this old place was not meant to have something explode on it. Hunks of stone start falling all over the place. Merrick comes running out of there. Merrick comes running out of there and grabs the cable and pulls it.
okay. All right. I mean, that would have been
You
cool,
hear
but
the stone block come crashing down inside of the. Makes a huge noise. Some of the zombies. It's just total chaos in there. The zombies are all looking around, growling and moving. One of them sees you, Brixton, starts
uh,
coming towards you. But the rest of them are kind of just running around towards the fire, in the direction of the fire. One of them's coming right towards you.
how far away is he? Do I have enough time to try to open the chest?
You do have enough time to open the chest.
I'm gonna
You
unfortunately
think.
do that.
You think. Brixton, you look at it, you start fiddling with it. Make me a percentage dice check.
Oof, 91.
Um, you fail to see the trap on it because you did not check
Uh-oh.
for traps. You feel
No, I
something
didn't.
prick in your finger. Make me a saving throw.
Um, what dice?
20.
Now, I do want to point out I do have a greater rook roll.
I know. Go ahead.
Okay. 3.
You failed your saving throw. You feel a burning through your arms, a kind of a numbness in the middle of your back. As soon as you feel that, you hear something behind you. Out of my way. That zombie that was walking towards you, Merrick runs him flat over, running full blast. He just lowers his shoulder and just blasts him like it's a football game. And he runs him flat over. The zombie hits the ground, kind of careens. You hear its neck break, and it just kind of keeps pushing itself up on the ground towards you. It goes, let's go, let's go, let's go. Merrick says.
I go.
You start going. Every time you take a step, you realize something. You remember this from the training you had as a thief. The faster you move, the faster your heart goes. The poison is going to get through your body faster. You're burning inside, it feels like. Merrick grabs the chest in the other arm and starts running, laboring with it. Some of the zombies are looking at you. They're starting to run towards the boat, running towards you. Make me a dexterity check.
19.
Oh, you sit there. You fall face first into the sand. The world is spinning around you. Merrick grabs you by the back of the shirt with his hand that he's got Ginny with. He starts dragging you through the sand. Come on, let's go! Because I'm not going to lose you too. He kind of shoves you in the boat, shoves Ginny in the boat, puts the chest in the boat in the back. The boat almost tips over from the weight until he gets it in the middle. Zombies coming from all directions towards the boat. He grabs the oars, starts trying to push off. It's going really slow. What are you going to do?
Am I in the water?
No, you're in the boat.
But is the boat in the water?
Yeah, the boat's in the water. And he's going as fast as he can, but he's going real slow. And the zombies are catching up to the boat.
Can I help him? Would helping him help?
You don't think so, because there's not a second set of oars.
Can I cast Distract? Would that help against the zombies?
Again, mind-affecting effect. Probably not.
Can I have one flask of oil left. Can I just...
You're going to light it and hurl it? Yeah. Yep, go ahead.
D20?
Yep.
18.
Okay, you light it. Oil starts running down your hands. Your hands are shaking so bad. You get it lit, manage not to light yourself on fire, throw it. You hit one of the zombies square in the face with it. He immolates instantly. But the cool thing about it is, with the oil hitting the water, it's burning on top of the water behind you to some degree. So the zombies are they all back off a little bit. The one zombie's flailing around on fire. It gives you enough chance. Merrick is halfway out into the water. He's panting, puffing. He's got you, and your boat starts to go outside of the cove finally. As soon as you break out of the cove, all you see is outside darkness everywhere. The sea, the ocean water is pummeling everywhere. It's a rough night out. Remember, it's been stormy.
Yeah. I'm gonna put my hand in the water and call my familiar.
You put your hand in the water. Start calling for your familiar. Need you to roll me a percentage dice.
What do I need to get?
I'm not telling you.
Okay, because I'm thinking about using my greater rook roll on this
one. Okay. You put your hand in the water. You start calling for your familiar. You reach down. It's occurring to you. You didn't even give her a name yet. You just have to emote that you want her there. Make me a die roll.
89.
Everything starts to spin. You're getting dizzy. And you pass out in the boat. Are you going to use the greater rook roll to call your familiar?
Yeah.
Okay. When you wake up, the first thing that you see is the sun rising over the ocean. It's dawn. All you feel around you is sand. Your face is wet. You taste salt. You're awake, Sonny says. She's over top of you. Just be calm. Just be calm. She rubs your chest a little bit. It's okay. You feel that burning still in your arms, everywhere, your neck, but yet you realize that the only reason you're alive right now is that invigorated feeling that you feel through your body, that energized, that sense of completeness of the one half of your soul that has always been missing. Another half is now complete again, and it's filled you with such energy and power that you're actually alive. Merrick goes, he's awake. Good. I thought we were going to lose you too. He kneels. You guys are on the beach. You realize, and he looks down at you. You all right? Tell me something. Speak
Did
to me.
we
Can
win?
you?
Are we safe?
Yeah, thanks to your buddy. He looks out in the water.
Then we're all right.
He says, I don't know where she is, but she came. Your eyes rolled to the back of the head. Your mouth started foaming. The boat started to sink. I thought we were all done. Then we got lifted up by a wave. Well, I thought it was a wave. The whole boat was on her back. She swam us to shore. We were a long ways away, Brixton. We were maybe 3 miles away from shore.
Yeah, we walked a long way.
We're okay.
Is she still there?
I don't know. He goes, can you feel her?
Can I? I mean, yeah, of course I can. Yeah, okay.
He goes, yeah. She's in the water somewhere there then. I don't think
um,
she left. Because I don't know how she knew to come get us, but she did. We're all
I
alive because of your friend.
she's
Because you
quite
know
the sailor.
dwarfs hate water. But I'm willing to make an exception for your pal.
Thank you. Do we know where we are?
No clue, he says. He goes, she just started to swim and I don't know. He goes,
Now
the
we're good.
zombies were throwing things at us. Some were swimming. It was bad. It was real bad. He goes, but we're okay. He goes, we got this too. He pats the chest. He looks at
I
you.
do.
He looks at you. He says, so what happened? He goes, you look terrible. He needs food. Sunny comes over. She says she has Merrick's shield, and underneath she's got it turned upside down, and there's fish on it, cooked. I made breakfast.
Um,
He goes, yeah. He goes, my damn shield's gonna smell like fish for the rest of my life, but I figured it was worth it.
I was poisoned. The chest was trapped. It's not trapped anymore, I don't think.
Oh no, she says, you're still poisoned. Look at you. She rubs your face.
Yeah.
She goes, you're really pale. Oh, she takes her hat off. She puts it on your head. She goes, you got sunburn. Been in the morning sun all day. Puts your hat on. You.
I was gonna take it back. Now a logistical question.
Yeah.
Was that rest enough? Was that like a resting period I can re-get spells, or was
No, it
that
was
not?
not because
Got it.
you couldn't study. And besides,
Yeah.
right now you're still poisoned. You're in
Yeah.
such discomfort right now that even casting a spell would be difficult.
Gotcha.
You're going to need to find a way to deal with this poison or let it wear off. This poison, by the way, would have been enough to kill you 3 times over. However, because you got about 4 times your normal hit points because of your familiar's presence, you lived. That's the only reason you're alive.
I know that's that was what I was banking on.
Damn it! When you forgot to check for traps the second time you just tried to open, I was like, yes.
Why did I just
Yep.
I was in a
There was so
panic.
much going on. I know. So okay, so you're laying there, looking up at the sun. There's the fish there. Merrick says, "Look, all I got is grog." He goes, "But," he goes, "I don't think you're an essential." He goes, "I don't think you're a stranger to liquor." So he hands you his small cask he's got that he carries with him.
Can I pour it in that wooden ale cup I got from the
Uh huh.
guard tower?
She looks at you,
Actually,
at
I
Merrick.
bust it
She
out
goes, "No, no, we can't do that. She starts looking at her stuff. She gives up you guys a look. She's got a small water skin. She goes, drink
Oh,
this. She goes, you guys are gonna dehydrate. He looks over at her. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, listen. She goes, I grew up in an inn. I know how this works. First thing in the morning you drink, you guys are gonna be you'll be crushed all day long. This I know about. Just trust me.
can
Huh, he says from the mouths of babes. Takes a little drink out of it.
she's right. Can I make an intelligence check on how long the poison might last?
Yeah, go ahead.
4.
You figure by the tomorrow, or today, I should say, at about maybe sundown, right about when you got pricked. That's probably when it'll go away. It's probably about a 24-hour thing. But until then, you're going to be a mess.
Yeah, I say, can we just, is here a safe place to camp out for a little bit?
Well, he goes, I haven't seen anything yet. Yeah.
Safe.
He
Yeah.
goes, but I could do
I,
some scouting. We haven't gone up the beach yet. He goes, I could see, I went far enough up the beach that the road is here. I don't know where we're at on the road. Hell, we could be on the north road for all I know. He goes,
um,
but
do you want to take, no, never mind. Yeah, do some scouting.
all right. He lays Gendra down next to you. Sorry, sis, he says and leaves her down. Grabs his axe. He grabs her shield.
Doesn't smell like fish, that one.
No. He goes, not at all. Starts walking up the thing.
Oh,
He looks over at you. He kind of disappears over the ridge. Sonny looks down at you and goes, actually, Merrick's a really good guy. He made sure you were comfortable the whole time and kind of watched over you.
yeah, we owe our lives to him.
She nods. I feel so bad about his sister. She looks over and kind of can't even look again after she looks at her for a little while. But we made it, I think.
You
I don't know
feel
how,
bad.
but we made it. I
It
told
was
you.
my,
She smiles and she goes, I told you could do anything.
isn't that what I told you?
Well, that's what I tell everybody, because you can.
I,
You're like the greatest gnome I've ever met, and even my aunt, even more than my aunt, and she's a war hero. You're just so smart and you're funny and you're handsome and I just
oh
think
God.
and I think you're the best. And I know Lily thinks so too.
I say thanks, kid.
I'm not a kid. She kind of laughs a little bit. Just I'm young, but I'm not a kid. I'm
I
100 years old,
I know, Sonny. We'll make it through this.
I know we will because we have you. That's the only reason I was scared is because when I thought that you were getting hurt, that's when I got scared. But Merrick made sure we were all okay, and your friend out there, wherever she is, she made sure we were okay too.
Yeah, I need to.
What's her name anyway? I don't like just calling her her.
I was just gonna say I need to figure out a name for her.
Well, we need to think of something because she saved us.
I I I give Lily the Knots for Beginners book.
She looks at it. She goes, "What's this?"
It's not for beginners.
She laughs a little bit. Well, I have some rope that my aunt packed for me, she says, and I can. I guess I can practice.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna coax the I guess the journal, the fiction story,
Uh huh.
and the sea monster book.
Uh huh.
Um, for 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 any kind of name namey kind of things.
Okay. Well,
You know what I mean?
it seems to you that having you start reading through them, there's a common theme. The Mermaid book doesn't mention anything about hippocampi, especially since there's only about maybe 30 pages of it that are intact. The rest of it obviously had a big cut in it so that it can hide the gemstones. But the book on monsters does talk about hippocampi quite a bit, actually, and it tells you some things you didn't know about hippocampi. Um, a little bit more about what they're like biologically. Like they mate for life, for example. They're generally solitary. They don't run in packs. But when they meet another hippocampus of their opposite sex, that's when they generally mate. And they mate for life. Um, the hippocampi of legend, when you read all the stories, they tend to have names that have to do with like the environment around them, like one of or something like a descriptor with a piece of the environment. Like one of them's name was Silver Squall that you read, and
Yeah.
another one was Lightning Storm, and another one was yeah. You see, it's all pieces something not something descriptive, and then a color or then a some piece
Then
of the sea environment. So yeah, that seems to be what how they name their they've named hippocampi in the past.
cool.
But you do learn quite a bit about hippocampi by reading this book. You're about maybe 2, 3 chapters in it. Merrick comes back. He looks at you, says, "We're a long, long way from where we started." He puts his axe on his back, sits down on the chest next to you. He goes, "I can see the mountains." Yeah,
Does that mean south or north?
south, way south of where we started. Says we probably have outpaced the caravan. He goes, those mountains were 60, 70 miles south of where we were.
Oof.
He said, I knew we were going fast. He goes, but wow. He looks over at the water at the hippocampus.
How far away from the road are we?
Oh, probably maybe 100 yards. He goes, over this ridge, it's maybe a couple, maybe about 50 feet, 60 feet.
Okay.
He goes, I didn't see anybody over there. He goes, but there is forestry that way, which means the chance of bandits out there is pretty high.
Yeah.
I tried to keep low, though, so nobody saw me.
Cool. Yeah, let's camp here for a while. We can easily move by nightfall. All of us can see in the dark.
I don't think we should, though. He goes, I say we camp out here all night long, wake up in the morning, let you memorize your spells, and move during the day. The question is, do we want to keep going south towards where the towards where we're supposed to go, or do we want to go north and try and meet our buddies?
We want to go north and try to meet our buddies. Because my worry is that they'll be waiting for us or they'll go back north to make sure we're okay.
We've been gone an awful long time. He goes, chances are if they were waiting for us, they wouldn't wait that long.
No. But
He goes, they probably figure we're all dead. Which,
ah,
by all rights, we should be.
I felt pretty capable, maybe too capable, but
He just kind of looks at you. Probably not exactly the right thing to say, seeing that his sister is dead laying there next to you, but.
yeah.
Sunny, meanwhile, is tying knots right now with her piece of rope. She goes, this one is hard. She keeps tying around. Because that's a good idea to keep the kid occupied.
Yeah. Just keep your mind off of everything that's happened.
Yeah, speaking of which,
Now,
that poison that you've got going on right now, how long do you figure before it wears off?
nightfall.
Nods. We're going to have to do something to make sure that you're safe. He goes, I'll start building ourselves a little bit of a shelter. I don't know what the weather's going to be like, so I'll get some
How
driftwood. I'll see what I can do about making us a little shelter.
how are you doing, Merrick?
He looks at you. You want me to be honest? He looks at you. He goes, I feel I hammered Noel Dong, but what am I going to do? Looks down at his ribs. He goes, I know there's something broken in there. He goes, I can't breathe. He goes, I think I feel something filling up in there with blood. But he looks down at his sister. He goes, I'm alive. It's more than I can say for some of us. Who in the hell am I going to be to complain?
Sorry it happened that way.
He shakes his head. He goes, I'm just sorry it happened to them. Jindra wouldn't have wanted to die in an orc attack. He goes, she was the bravest, smartest dwarf I ever met. She was so good. She was such a good dwarf. She, after our parents died, I got in a real dark place, and just her attitude, it was so impossible not to follow her and keep going. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do without her anymore. He looks
I'm
at
gonna
you.
point. I point to his to her shield and I say, "Well, you'll always carry part of her with you."
Not if Sonny has anything to do with it and cooks on the underside of it again. She looks up at you. She goes, did somebody say cooking? You guys hungry?
Always.
I'll get more fish.
I asked Merrick if he wants to open this chest together.
You're asking a dwarf if he wants to open a chest. Are you crazy? Of course I want to open that chest.
I mean, we burned it after all.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's worth it. He looks at your hands and your arms. He goes, I don't have a buddy that's going to save my life.
Can I try to? I guess we'll wait till sundown.
Well, I could just bust it open too. We don't need to.
Uh,
We don't need to use the latch. I could just hack the thing open with my axe.
yeah, but it looks cool.
Yeah. If there's anything, if there's a lot of money in there. Who knows? We're going to need something to carry it in, right?
How's our boat? Is the boat toast?
He looks down at it. He goes, "The boat is not toast, but," he goes, we're not getting too far in it." Because it was leaking so bad, all that weight that we had in there. He shakes his head. He goes, my armor, Sis's armor, this chest. He goes, like I said, if it wasn't for your friend, we'd all be dead. By the way, what's your friend's name? I feel weird calling it just your friend.
Oh, I'm working on it. I don't know. She hasn't told me yet.
Told you. I'd be surprised if they have names. He goes, do they even think like that in those kind of terms? Not saying it's not smart, because she obviously was smarter than us, smart enough to find you and come get us. But
I was just trying to stall.
culture-wise, I don't know. That sounds like something my sister would say. Shakes his head. God damn it, Jenny. Why did it have to be you? He looks over and rubs her face. Why did it have to be you?
Oof.
You know, I was thinking something down there in those tunnels made those zombies. Zombies just don't pop up by themselves. I wonder if Solveig's walking around in there now like that.
I don't think so. I think because if I remember, all the zombies were sailors, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like
maybe. Because I know the orcs can't breathe water, but zombies can. They're all probably floating around in the bottom of that now, not knowing what the hell happened.
I hand him the journal and say, I think it might have been this witch.
He starts reading it.
Which witch? I don't know.
He kind of chuckles. He goes, God damn. He goes, it's a good thing we didn't run into her on that island.
My thoughts
You think
exactly.
she's the one that made the tunnel?
I
Oh,
think so.
wait. It says something about that right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like she did.
Maybe she's hiding in the chest.
Oh, please don't say that. Now about this chest. He looks at it, he goes, can you get like double poisoned? He goes, or are you like immune to it now or what?
Can I make an intelligence check? Am I immune to it?
Why don't you make me a D20?
5.
I don't know. If you roll a shot glass, if you drink a shot glass full of cyanide and you live, do you think adding another shot glass to it is good?
I mean, you can always hope for the best. Um, Now, is the poison an ongoing thing in the trap?
The trap is still active. You would
Got
have to
it.
disarm it or risk it again.
Got
Now,
it.
you
Now,
may
is
have
there,
absorbed all the poison that's in it. After all, it's ancient.
but if there's more poison in it, can I extract the poison?
Maybe.
Possibly, maybe.
You're gonna have to. You would have to. You would have to
Be
disarm
careful.
the thing first, so you could
First,
find out.
yeah.
Gonna try
Okay.
it?
Am I still shaky?
Yeah, you're pretty shaky.
No.
Lily or Sonny goes, I could try. I could do the thing you showed me how to do. He looks over at her, looks at you. Besides, your tools are no good anymore, remember?
Oh yeah,
These are
she's
the
got
ones
good
these are
tools.
the ones that my aunt bought me.
I'll trade you.
If you let me try and open the chest, I'll let you have them.
I'll, well, I'll just you
Well,
can.
if you fail, he'll just take them. Merrick says. She just kind of looks horrified. That's not really a good bargain, is it, Missy? Well, maybe not, but I still want to try.
If you want to try, go for it.
She takes a deep breath, looks at it.
I believe in you.
That makes one of us.
See that
Okay.
bardic inspiration there?
Now you told me that first look at the mechanism. But wait, I know what the mechanism is already because it's a needle trap. So there's the needle, she says. Get the little saw right here. No, that one's too big. Use this one. Saw it off. And ow!
Uh-oh.
He looks at her. Are you all
Are you
right?
okay?
I think I don't feel anything. He sighs. He goes, "You're lucky." He goes, "He must have taken it all." She
Like a
nods.
champ.
She nods. Oh, that kind of hurt.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Well, I'll
It's
try
been
and unlock it now. Click. Oh, that was easy. Hey, you're forgetting something. What's that? You owe him your thieves' tools, remember? Here, she hands up. Oh, hands you this.
I say keep them. They're
No,
yours.
you're better at me than this anyway. You're
Yeah,
the
but
one.
you
You're
need
the teacher.
practice.
You're the teacher.
I can teach you on a broken set. It's harder to learn on a broken set. I'm just that good,
Would
you
you
know?
quit arguing about this and look and see what we managed to get out of this death bout we've been in?
Merrick, you open it.
I think I
You
will.
carried it.
He opens the top of the chest and looks in there.
And out comes a witch.
Out comes a witch. No, what you see in there are the. As soon as you open it up, you hear Merrick go, "By Moradin's beard." Glittering gold in there, sprinkled with a couple gemstones, a couple pieces of jewelry, a bag of some kind is in there, and a couple bottles. He looks over at you and grins. He goes, "I wish you could see. I wish you would have lived to see this, Jenny." His eyes just get. You almost see the dollar signs in his eyes.
See, now this is, I can put this in the bank and we can share that gemstone thing because I can't access the other party money.
Yeah, do we tell them about this? I won't tell
Well, I
anybody,
mean,
Sonny says.
What's Sonny say?
I won't tell anybody, I promise. By the way, your fish is ready.
Um,
Little later, kiddo. He says, looking at it.
well, I mean,
Runs his fingers through the gold. Oh, look at this. He goes, look at this. Silver, gold. Look at this. Have you ever seen this before? He goes, that's an electrum piece. There's Bilford's balls. He picks up one of them. This platinum. There's a platinum piece in here. He smacks his
35
leg.
minutes.
Oh, we're rich.
Well,
Rich.
I think we should tell them, but at the same time, I think we earned it.
You think they'll see it the same way?
Well, they might not see it at all, and I wave my fingers.
That's the spirit, kid. He starts running his fingers through it. He says,
You said there was a bag in there.
yeah. He goes, there's this leather bag in here. You want to look at it?
I do. I check it for traps.
He hands it to you. Make me a die roll, percentage die roll.
67.
Okay, you look at it. Drawstrings are made out of leather. It looks like it's very old leather, but it's still in pretty good shape. Got a couple cuts on it, whatever. Um, but it looks like just leather bag. It has a little bit of weight to it, maybe like feels like something is inside of it that would weigh about as much as a golf ball, maybe.
I open it.
You open the top of it, and a moth comes fluttering out of it. Huh.
Can I catch the moth?
Yeah, you catch the moth. Make me a 20.
11.
Okay, you catch the moth. Nice hands, he says.
And then I'm going to whisper some Gandalf stuff. Ask it for the eagles to fly us to our party members. That's how that works, right?
Yeah, it's exactly how it works.
Is there still something in the bag, or was it just the
Oh
moth?
no, oh no. You look in the bottom of the bag. You look in the bottom of the bag.
Yeah.
You look in the bottom
Yeah.
of the bag. All you see is blackness in there. What? What? I saw that look on your face. What's in
Do
there?
I know what it is?
You
Can
have.
I make an intelligence chance?
You sure can.
Okay, because I mean, I think I know what it is,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know if Brixton knows what it is.
Okay, make me a 20.
8.
Well, you've heard of bags before that are bigger on the inside than they are on the outside. They're called bags of holding, and they have a lot of room to put things in. But you've also heard of bags that,
Of devouring.
yes, you're guessing it's one of those two. And it's going to be real hard until you put something in there and find out.
I was gonna say, Sonny, stick your hand in here.
Are you
No,
going to?
I say it in jest. I was like, don't though.
Well, what's in there? What's in there? Don't keep me in suspense.
Can I hold it open and drop one of the fish in?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Pick up one of the fish. Drop it in there. You don't feel anything for it's weird. It should have hit the bottom of the bag a split second later, but you wait for like 1001, then it hits the bottom of the bag and has a little bit of weight, but not as much weight as when you put it in there in the top.
I stick my hand. Can I jump in it? No. I
You put your hand in there?
Yeah.
Put your hand in there?
And then I start screaming.
Oh, what's going on? What's going on?
And I was just like, haha.
Not funny. You get your hand in there to the wrist, to the elbow, to the shoulder. His eyes, both of their eyes get real big when you do it. What is
Can I
that?
actually go inside of it?
What is that? You're not quite big enough, but Sonny is.
Do I feel anything in it?
You reach in there at the bottom of the bag. Yeah, you feel something in there.
What?
It feels like a stick. and there's a piece of paper. Feels like parchment.
Well, I just turn it upside down and dump it out.
You turn it upside down and start dumping it out. This fish falls out of it first, and
Can I
then a
catch
piece
that
of
before
paper
I start
falls
standing?
out, and then a length of wormwood about 16 inches long. It's real slender and kind of twisted around. And at one end of it, somehow it's been connected to a what looks like a peridot.
What's a sorry? What's
It's a
a
kind of
what?
a gemstone, a greenish gemstone
A green gemstone.
at the end of it.
And what's the parchment say?
You look at it, it's written in real elegant feminine script. It says Zot's the word.
I'm gonna do it.
You gotta grab it. Where are you gonna
Uh,
point it?
do do I know if wands have charges in first edition?
Yes, they do have charges in first edition.
Got it. Can I make an intelligence check about what a green gemstone would tell me about the wand?
Don't even bother. You don't have enough experience to know.
And it's Zot's the word.
It says Zot's the word on it.
I say, Merrick, do you want to see something cool?
Yeah. Is it gonna hurt?
Maybe.
Uh-huh.
And then I guess out towards the I guess self. I'm gonna shoot it south. I'm gonna go
Okay. Point
swat.
south down the beach, and you're gonna say,
Swat.
you say Zot. You
Zot.
reach out, you point it down there. The peridot glows green for a second. This greenish sparkling energy swirls around the length of the wormwood, which all the dark parts of it as it twists glow green for a second, and it shoots a sickly green ray down the length of the beach. And it strikes a piece of driftwood, which does nothing.
Got it. I'm gonna assume.
You're right, that was pretty cool. What did
I'm
it
gonna
do?
assume.
He looks at it, he goes, looks like it's still in one piece to me.
Do I know this from spellcasting at all? Can I?
Make me a percentage die roll.
5.
0.5.
0.5. I can show you if you want.
You have seen this spell before.
Uh-oh.
That looked exactly like paralyzation. Exactly like it.
Exactly like. It only works on living things. I tell Merrick.
Okay, well, what
You
does it
want to
do to
try?
living things?
Paralyzes them. You want to
Does
try it?
does it hurt them?
Does it?
Not as far as you know.
Not as far as I know.
Okay, do we want to cast it on a fish, or are you going to cast it on me? Or are we going to look for some game out there?
Um, we're not gonna cast it on anything because this might come in handy, and if we keep casting it, it might be useless.
Oh, there's only so many uses on it.
Yeah.
God, I wish we would have had this down there.
Wish we would have had a lot of things down there.
Yeah. What do you make of these bottles with this liquid in here? Because obviously they're potions of some kind, but what do you make of them?
What colors?
It's a thick red, kind of syrupy one. One of them is, and the other one is actually not. As you pick it up, it's in a stoppered bottle that's waxed around the top of it. It's like real thin, a flute. The other one's just like in a normal. Uh, it's like a bulbous kind of container with a little neck
Yeah.
on it. This one is just like a long, thin flute, and it has like a grayish smoke inside of it.
Well, this one looks like blood, and this one I don't know. Is there?
Do you
Can
think
I
it's
make a
really blood,
percentage?
or do you think it's actually a magical?
Uh, I think magical, but I don't know for sure. Can I make a percentage check?
No, no way of knowing.
You can always drink them and find out, but I don't know if that's a good idea.
Well, I'm game. He
Whoa, whoa,
says,
whoa, time out, time out, time out.
he looks at you, he goes, listen. He goes, dwarves are made of pretty good, pretty solid stuff. He goes, goes, I basically can't get drunk. I basically never throw up in my life.
I beat a dwarf once in a drinking competition.
Yeah, I remember, and that's because you cheated.
I didn't cheat.
Well, your buddy cheated for you. He looks at it. He goes, you want me to drink it? I'm game. He looks at it.
Which one is he holding?
The one that's reddish color.
The reddish color? Now, can you take a sip of a potion and get an idea of what it might be?
You can drink up to 1/8 of a potion at a time, and it will have an effect. It will be a shorter term effect, but it will be an effect.
I say take a swig.
Fine.
Don't drink it all, but just if you want to.
I'm drinking a little bit of it. I'll see what happens. Bottoms up. Takes a cork out of it. Puts it up. Because it's kind of... Ooh, it's really sweet. Ooh, sweeter than honey. Drinks a little bit of it. Sonny's looking at him, all anticipating. He corks it up. As soon as he does it, he goes, whoa. He starts to put his head back. He's like, what's going on here? He looks at you. And he all of a sudden he starts saying, he goes, I feel like I'm moving $1 million an hour. Do something.
He's what? What?
Do something. You look like you're frozen. Are you paralyzed?
I throw something at him.
He dodges right
throw
away.
a piece of platinum at him.
You throw a piece of platinum at him. He's gone before he almost leaves your finger as he moves to the side and catches it. He goes, that doesn't work a single word. He goes, that thing look like it's going.
Breathe. Settle down.
You're talking so slow.
You're going so fast. You're going so fast.
You're even slower now.
I just laugh. What about the jewelry? You said there was some jewelry in the chest?
Say it faster.
Jewelry!
Well, let's try over here. Look at this man, and look at the third generation.
Sit down.
He sits down. This is really weird. Sonny goes, what was in there?
Cocaine. No. Speed. Literally.
So that's what it looks like. That was a potion of speed. That could be really handy.
That could be really handy. Imagine how fast the Gritus would be with that. We can't let him have it.
Oh, she shakes her head. That would be unbelievable to watch.
Imagine if we give it to my friend.
Oh, she looks her. Can they even drink potions? Do they drink water? Or does it go in like through their gills? Or how does that work?
Pour it through their gills. I know how it works because I read the book, right?
Actually, you do know how it works because you read the book. Yeah, actually, they get their water through their gills.
Yeah, we can pour it through their gills.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Can I look in the chest of the jewelry?
Yeah, you start looking at the chest of the jewelry. There's an armlet in there that's made out of silver, and it's got looks like it's been hammered with shapes of animals, primitive animals and things. It looks like the kind that they have from the barbarian states. It's something Solveig would have loved. You
Yeah,
see,
but
yeah, you see a little a pair of earrings that's in there with looks like they're made out of gold with a little bit of zircon in there. Um, there's nothing in here that you see that is overwhelmingly that right to you looks like, oh my god, that's got to be worth an unbelievable amount. But all collected in here, there's a lot of treasure in here,
that's a lot. Yeah.
and not to
Now,
mention the magical bag.
yeah. I stick. I'll put the potions in the bag, the wand in the bag.
Yeah, you have to be very careful because there's a lot of drop in there. So you have to make sure you put it in there real carefully as you do it to reach the
Yeah,
bottom
and
and just kind of
then
let them go.
um,
I bet you I could crawl in there.
yeah. Do you want to sort it out? I'll hand
Yeah,
you
I'll
stuff,
go in there.
and then is she easier to carry like that?
Who's Sunny?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I could just carry her on my belt.
Yeah, she actually crawls in the bag, gets in through the neck of the bag, takes her a little bit of wiggle room to get her shoulders in there, but she gets through there. And when she gets in, when she disappears through there, you pick the bag up. The bag feels like it weighs maybe 3 pounds. Okay, I'm in here. It's really dark.
And I close it,
Okay, you
and I
close the
say,
top of it.
"Gotcha."
Can you hear me? You hear a voice from it.
What happens if I shake her out a
You
little?
shake it around a little bit. You're go, whoa!
All right. Anyway,
Yeah,
um,
be careful up there.
and then I guess yeah. Let's. Can all the treasure fit in the bag?
Easily.
Let's do that.
You start
Let's
scooping it in there.
let's put the like. I'll take the magic stuff out. I'll put that on the top, and let's put the coins and
Well, Sunny helps you sort it out, but this is what you find out as you pour it in there. She says, I'm trying to make little piles of it in here, but every time you move the bag, they just slosh around. It's really hard. So it's gonna all get mixed together.
okay. Well, let's just put all the money in there, and anything that seems magical or potiony we'll keep out, like the
Okay, because I
bracelet.
think if we put all this stuff in here with the potion bottles might break.
Yeah.
About an
So
hour later, Merrick starts talking like a normal dwarf again as you're doing this. He looks over at you. He's like, that felt like it lasted forever. And from his
yeah,
perceptions, it did.
yeah. How'd that feel? Did he heal any faster than that
No.
time?
He looks at you, he goes, everything was moving so slow. He goes, I could count the waves on the ocean. That was wild. He goes, if we would have had this down there, he goes, I could have taken 7 of them before they even would have blinked.
Yeah. We can always go back.
He looks over at you. He goes, I'm game.
Oh, I was joking.
I'm not.
I know.
What we have down there now, with the potions, with the wand, are you kidding me? He goes, we should go down there. We should get revenge for Jenny and Solveig.
Get Solveig's body back, or what's left of it.
Sonny says, you hear from the bag, I know you're not talking about going back there.
No, we can just leave you in the bag.
Don't do that. Come on, please. I can't find even a place to crawl up out of here.
Just gets buried beneath
It's
the
really
gold.
dark. It's getting stuffy in here, too.
I tell her to come out of the bag.
Okay. You actually end up having to lay the bag on its side so she can crawl out of it. She comes out of it. Whew. She goes, I think that there's only so much air in there.
Probably.
Yeah, because it was
Now,
starting to get really stuffy.
yeah, that sword we found on the weapons rack.
This one, Merrick holds
Yeah,
it out, looks at it. Elvish make, for sure. Not bad work, though. Kind of taps it. Pretty light. Kind of rolls around his wrist a couple times. So I don't know though. He goes, Elvish swords have a tendency, their design flaw. They break right about here. He points at a plane right around the handle. Right around here. He goes, they're not broad enough. He goes, seems to work for a Grias. He goes, maybe it's the way we swing them. I don't know. He goes,
Neither
but
do I.
he goes, feels pretty good. Sharp as hell.
Swing it?
Starts swinging it around. Swing and rolls it around. Balance is way off. He goes, I'd rather use my axe.
Can you go hit a tree with it? No. Piece of driftwood.
Yeah, sure. Goes over and puts on a piece of driftwood, kind of hacks it, and he goes right through the thing all the way to the ground in one shot. Oh. Huh. This is not normal.
No.
Huh.
Can you hit a tree
Grias
with
is
it?
going to flip when he sees this.
If he sees it.
Huh. How much do you think we could get for it from him? How much do you think he'd be willing to pay for it? I mean, it's ours, right?
Yeah, it is.
Huh.
We'll figure it out. Well, we should camp for the night and get moving.
Yeah, for sure. Looks over at Sonny. How was it in there? Stuffy and smelly. It smells like fish in there now. Well, tough break, kid. I'm gonna make our. I'll start making our support. He goes. If you want to talk to your friend out there, out in the water, say thanks or whatever. Swim for a bit. He goes. Now's a good time. It'll take me about an hour to build something. I figure.
Yeah. I mean, we can even overturn the boat too, and
Oh, that's a really good idea. He says. That's a good idea. I'll use the boat for shelter. You think we're going to be using it again?
maybe.
All right. Well, I'll try and keep it in one piece then.
Yeah.
He
I'm
starts
gonna,
using it, building it. Sonny looks out in the water. How can you tell where it is? Or she, I'm sorry. Where she is.
I just know.
He nods. She nods.
Speaking of, am I still poisoned?
Yeah. You feel like it's getting better though.
Okay.
It's
I'm
getting better.
gonna make my way to the water.
You make your way to the water. As you make your way to the water, every step you take into the water, it feels like it's a little bit better. The nearer you are, the better it gets.
I'm
Um,
gonna go.
once you get about shoulder deep in the water, uh, you can feel the wave, a little bit of a wave start to hit you. Your weight is so little, you kind of rise and fall in the water with it. Something rubs past you, something large in the water. And as soon
I'm
as you
gonna.
make the contact, as soon as it makes contact with your flesh, instantly the effect of the poison is gone.
Ah, sweet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out.
Okay, you start hanging out in the water. Uh, the hippocampus kind of slides around and it starts nuzzling underneath at your chest and stuff like that. Um, it kind of like wants to push you out a little deeper into the water. Kind of nuzzles you out deeper into the water. Are you gonna let it?
Yeah. I say let's go for a spin.
As you do, yeah. You go ahead and you let it take you out in the water. You end up holding around its neck and it begins to start swimming around. It is so fast going through the water. Every time it goes underwater, all you see are silver bubbles and darkness going past you. Then it breaches for a moment. You get your breath. As you start to hang on to it, you're getting more of a sense for when it's going to do these things. Um,
Yeah.
its telepathic communication with you is becoming a little bit better and you can kind of anticipate when it might be. So you're really not losing your breath at all when you do this. It seems to know what you can handle now and what you can't. Now that you've been a little bit more in contact, it starts to go underneath the water. It goes really deep one time. Starts to sense that you're a little bit that the pressure bugs you. levels off. It's a really cool experience. It's like swimming through this massive ebon sea for a moment as it goes down with all these silver bubbles going by you, and then it breaches up and you explode up into the sun, into the setting sun rays. It's just an amazing experience. But more than that, it's the sensation that your half of your soul is complete
Is
now.
yeah.
The part of you that never knew it was missing something has found what it's been missing all this time. It's just this amazing feeling. All you can do almost the whole time when you're on it is laugh and just feel full of life and energy and just this sense of peace, overwhelming sense of peace. Finally, after a couple hours, that it raises up out of the water, looks towards the shore. You see Merrick waving his axe. He goes, "You gonna play out there all night long?" He goes, "You gotta come in here."
I kind of give it a little nuzzle
It nuzzles you back. You sense
and I
a
go,
sensation of there's almost a feeling of when will you stay? It asks with me.
Soonish.
It gets the
Soonish.
sensation.
We have some work to do.
I will be here. Where should I wait?
Just stay with us on the beach, as like closest. Stay near us, because we may need you.
I will remain here.
And then
The shallows are dangerous in the ocean, but I will wait here.
we'll stay close too.
I do not like to swim farther where I cannot feel you.
I appreciate that.
It swims
Uh,
around you in a circle and kind of takes off downward a little bit. Um, you
I'm
can feel when
yeah,
it gets at the edge. You can feel when it gets at the edge of that
of the
telepathic communication because that energy that you feel starts to drain out, and you realize that you're not all the way well yet. So your body starts to respond to it, but then it gets closer back again. You're filled with more vitality. Um, you go back to the shore. Merrick looks at you. Look like you were having fun out there. I could
too
watch you
much.
do that all day long, Brixton. That was amazing.
I asked Merrick if he wants to gamble for some of his share of the treasure.
What's the game?
Cards.
He looks at you. Hearts, huh? How much are we talking about?
I mean, piece here, a piece there, just for more fun than anything.
Well, we need to talk about some things. He
Uh-oh.
pats the treasure chest. First, I figure the money's a 50-50 split.
What about Sunny?
She's your apprentice. She gets what you say she gets.
All right, 50-50 it is.
So, oh, come on. Anyway, like I was saying, but we've got some other stuff in here. He goes, the wand, the bag, these 2 potions,
Sword.
the sword. We need to talk about how we're going to split them.
The bracelet.
I'm not too interested in the bracelet. He goes, I consider all the jewelry to be money.
I put the bracelet on. Does it do anything?
Put it on? Nah. Does, or at least doesn't seem to.
All right. I just put it back in the bag.
He looks at you, says, all right. So, basically, we got a sword, we got a bag, we got a wand, we got 2 potions. What do you say?
Well, I feel like we should give the sword to Agrias.
What? I forgot. What did Agrias exactly do down there that helped us? I forgot.
Well, I mean, split his share of the sword 50-50.
His share?
Well, no,
Again,
no, no,
I
I
forgot
mean,
what
like,
those guys did down there.
no. I'm saying we'll sell him the sword and then we split it 50-50.
Oh, well,
Because
I.
I
He
feel like
goes. He goes. It's not like I want to really use it anyway.
no,
So
and it
okay,
would be best
so
suited
we
for
sell the
operation.
sword. All right. Now then, we got 2 potions, a bag, and a wand. He goes,
Well, I'll
what?
I'll take the bag and the wand, and you take the potions.
Wrong. He goes, you got to take the bag or the wand.
Do you remember the word for the wand?
It was written right on that piece of paper. Of course I do. I read it
What?
too. I'm not going to say it. I
Um,
don't want it just to fire off.
well, I mean, the bag I feel like is mutual right now because it's carrying everything.
Hold on for a second. That's not how this works. What we're going to do is we're going to pick each one going back and forth, which each one of us is going to take. We got 4 items, so each of us gets 2 picks. You pick first, I pick second, you pick third, I pick fourth. I think that's more than fair. You're getting first pick. In fact, I'm going to take second and third pick. You get first and fourth since you get first pick. That's fair.
I like the other way before, but
Nah. He goes, I thought about it. He goes, that's not really
does the
fair.
bag come with all the money? So if I take the bag, I get all the money.
He looks at you. He says, as I said, that's a split.
All
So,
right,
you get first pick. What do you want?
the bag,
He
the
looks at
bag.
you like you're crazy. You want the bag.
Well, I mean, I could like throw Sunny out of it to attack people, you know?
Yeah, that would be awesome. Do you hear yourself when you talk half the time?
I'm a clown.
Yeah, you sure are. Now, are you sure you want the bag?
Well, why don't we gamble for a round?
Listen, he goes, I watched you in that inn on multiple occasions. I would say yeah, but you don't gamble fair. You cheat every time. Every time.
Well, it's not like we're gonna have a drinking contest for it.
Well, we could do that if you want to, but I say no. He goes, that ain't fair. How about this? How about this? We know what each other has, all right? Because we're picking for all this. Maybe if you like something I got and you give me enough of the treasure, I'll take that instead.
What would you do with a wand of paralyzation anyway?
Sell it.
Oh, I mean, no. Yeah, okay.
He goes, look at this thing. He goes, this thing's basically a death ray. I mean, if you paralyze somebody with it, what are they going to do? You hack them to pieces.
Seems like
So
your style.
it's up to you.
How much do you want for it?
What, the wand?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are going to take the bag.
It's so hard to pass up a bag of holding.
Listen, man. He goes, we got. He looks up in the sky. He goes, it's nighttime. You're going to have to sleep soon so you can memorize your spells. The quicker we're done with this, the easier everybody can sleep.
Okay, I'll take the bag.
You got the bag, I got the wand. Which of
Yeah.
the 2 potions you want?
Which was the one he drank?
The red one.
And then there was the
Gaseous
smoky
one.
the smoky gray one.
Yes. That was not a liquid. It was a gas, actually. Yeah.
Oh.
It's not a liquid.
I'll take my hedge on the gassy one.
All right, I got the red one. Now, let's talk turkey about what we're getting ready to give up. You want this here wand, huh? It's a nice wand. It's real good looking. Look at this. It's made out. I think this is wormwood. This is definitely a peridot at the end. I mean, it was made by this witch used it that was such a badass. So, you know it's powerful. You know what? It ain't for sale. He puts it in his bag. I like it too much.
All right, it's yours.
Right. So, we're all gonna go to sleep, or am I gonna watch you? So he says, I'll take one of the watches.
Yeah, we should take shifts.
Your master needs to sleep. I'll stay up
Yeah.
for the first half of the night and I'll wake you up when we're ready, Sonny. You don't get a watch, Brixton. Sleep all night.
How can I tell what time it is?
Huh?
Sorry.
He looks at you, he goes, sleep all night, get better. So we need you with your spells tomorrow.
Sounds good.
So you're gonna go to sleep there?
Yeah.
You go to sleep on the beach. Sun setting out there. Sound of the waves crashing on the shore. Sensation you're familiar there. You actually made it out of there alive. Feel pretty good about the way that everything went. That night, you have a dream
Uh-oh.
that you're walking through the darkness and you smell smoke everywhere. And you hear voices. You hear Ginny's voice in the background. Brixton, is that you? Brixton, help me. Help me. Help me. It's so dark here. I don't know where to go. Help me. You hear Solveig. Is that Brixton? Brixton, help me. I mean, it's so cold down here. Help, please help me. Hear their voices just echo on and on and on through the night. And that is where we're going to cut for the evening. So, you made it out of there. Everybody lived. You found treasure in there. But now
Haunted.
you are haunted by the past. You have new magic items that for the risk that you took. So it paid off in some senses, but in others, not at all.
Not. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it was worth it, but it happens.
Yeah, it happens. And you got a bag of holding out of it. And you could have had a wand of paralyzation out of it, but you don't
I
now.
still can.
Oh, that's the joys of being a thief, right?
I just don't want to take any more from Merrick at the same time, you know.
No,
I
you
feel like
sure
I
don't.
already taken.
Because if he caught you, he'd probably kill you.
He'd kill what looked like me anyway.
Okay, man. Well, for everybody out there who's been tuning in with us in Twitch tonight, I want to say goodnight. You guys got a chance to see Brixton at his finest. You did a good job as usual. Anything you want to say to the audience before you leave, Matthew?
No, that was just the beginning was intense. I didn't expect that tunnel to go so far. I didn't expect the zombies. It was.
But now there's another question that you have to ask yourself, metagaming slightly. The second tunnel that the other group found, does it do the same thing? Where does that one lead?
Yeah, or do they connect?
Or do they connect? Yeah,
Don't
there
they?
is so many questions that are yet unanswered. Matthew, if you'll stick around for a second after we go offline as usual, I'd appreciate that. We'll talk a little bit about the game, then I'll let you go. But everybody out there in the audience, thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you again soon. At the very least, you'll get a chance to see us next weekend when we do the next episode of the first Betrayal. On behalf of Matthew, I'm Carlos Lysing, and we're signing off for the evening. You guys have a good night.
Thanks, you guys.